Okay, so if you all are in the child's pose, you can come back to downward facing dog, or if you're not, let's all meet in the downward facing dog whenever you're ready. Perfect. Then from here, let's start with triangle series. So bring your right leg up to the sky, toes pointing out. And then end in a lunge. As you exhale, your right toe is next to your right hand and your left knee is lifted. If you want, you can look forward and just stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, we'll go to warrior 2. In order to do that, drop your left heel down, bring your torso up, and then open your hands out to come in a T. If you've lost the knee bend, get it back. You want your nice right knee above your right ankle. And then find your balance. And you can look towards your right fingers. I'm going to face you guys because I have to turn my face, so let me just change the form. Okay, perfect. Now flip your palms, slide forward, and then tick off your arms so that they are 6 and 12. If you are balanced enough, you can look towards the ceiling. Otherwise, keep looking at me. You can use your right hand to be in front of your right thigh and bend your right knee so that right knee is right above your ankle. And now here, try and reach the ceiling. Awesome. Keep your legs there bent and then come back to warrior 2, but then go to reverse warrior as you exhale or inhale. Doesn't matter where you were, just keep following the rhythm. And then come back to warrior 2. Then unbend your knee, move both your toes towards me, and then come to a star pose. Send the 4 corners, your hands and legs towards the 4 corners of the front wall. And if you want, you can take a back stretch here. And when you're done, meet me in horse pose, which is essentially a squat. So allow your knees to follow the direction, the diagonal direction, and then just align your toes in line with your knee, wherever you can get to. And you can move from right to left to see what is the most comfortable spot for you. Also, if you're falling forward, just become straight so that your shoulders are above your hips. But then also don't curve on your lower back. You want to give rest to your lower back here. Okay, hands in the center. We're just going to take a couple of breaths here, but we'll stay in this squat. Inhale, raise your arms up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands down. Inhale, second time, arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands down. Third, if you want, every time you exhale, you could go lower, but that's your choice. And then the last one, inhale, arms up. Exhale, down, and see where you can go. 3, 2, 1, and then stand up for a star pose. Tee out your arms. Bring your toes forward so that your feet are actually parallel to the shoulder edge of the mat. And when you're ready, you will start to send your torso down for a separate leg stretch. Once you reach down, allow your hands to rest on the ground, and then allow your forehead or the crown of your head to go closer to the mat. And take your time here. Start feeling the stretch in your hamstrings. You can also bring your breathing to a normal pace here. Take full advantage. This is the time when you engage your hamstrings and also relax them. Move your weight forward towards the ball mounts of your foot, and then you'll feel your hamstrings stretch out a little bit more. One more breath here, so stay there. And then slowly, first tee out your arms, and then start to come back up to standing. Get your hands up above your head, just clap them above your head. Shorten your stance by moving your heel and then toe. And then turn towards your right side. Now as you turn towards your right side, I want to make sure that both your toes are facing the same direction as if you are on separate railroad tracks. So both the toes have to face the same direction. Then you can bend your right knee slightly and send your arms towards your right toe. It will be hard to balance here, so use your knee, you can bend it. And when you reach there, you can rest your hands on the mat. Then bring your forehead to the knee and try and get that compression in your hamstrings. It will be hard to breathe here, but try intentionally, force your air out, and then inhale will happen automatically. Okay, from here, we are just going to bring our weight in our palms. So rest your palms nicely on the mat and then lift your left leg up so that it comes in alignment with your hips. And then allow your left heel to fall down or left toe to fall down for a lunge. Send your right leg up for a three-legged dog. And then end in a downward facing dog. Perfect. Now we are going to do all of this on the left side. So whenever you're ready, bring your left leg up to the sky. And then exhale for a lunge on your left side. Make sure your left knee is above your left ankle, right knee is lifted, your hands are nicely rested on the mat. Stay here for 3 counts. 3, 2, 1. Now we'll go for warrior 2. So to start doing that, drop your right heel down on the mat first. Bring your torso up. Keep the bend in your left knee. And then open your arms for warrior 2. You can look towards your left fingers. I have to face you again. I think all of you are fine. I just cannot see. But maybe you couldn't see either. Okay. So if you have lost the bend in your left knee, bring it back. Stretch out your arms, tease them out, and keep looking towards the left side. Flip your palms up. And slide your body forward and tick-tock your arms now so that your right hand is going towards the ceiling. If you can reach towards the ceiling, keep looking up and use your left hand to push your left thigh out. Only slightly. And then come back up. Let's go for reverse warrior. Send your left palm towards the back wall and get a side stretch here. Okay, let's tee out our arms for warrior 2, back to warrior 2, and then come to a star pose by sending your toes forward, both the toes forward. If you want, you can take a back stretch here. If not, come to a horse pose. Now then horse pose, let's try some twists here. If you are interested, this is the first time I want to try a twist. So get your hands on your thighs. Any form is fine. You can either have your toes forward or you can have your fingers forward. Whatever is comfortable to you. Stay in that squat. Get your shoulders above the hips. And then we're just going to twist forward. Send your right shoulder towards the left side. And then come back up. And let's go the other side. Left shoulder goes towards the right side. Come back. Let's do it 3 times. The second time on the right side. And then come back. And then other side, left side. And then come up. Last time, twist towards the right. Come back in the center. And then twist towards the left. And come back in the center. Bring our hands to prayer pose. Let's take the deepest squat we can. Stay there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stand up for star pose. Now tee out your arms, bring your toes forward, make sure your feet are parallel to the shorter edge of the mat. And when you are there, then start to send your head for a separate leg stretch. Resting your hands and your head on the ground if you can. And then take your time here, rest here as much as you can. If you want to do some twist, you can follow me a little bit. To do the twist, it's easy. Just keep your right hand in front of your eyes and send the left hand up to the sky. This is going to stretch out your right hamstrings a little bit more. Okay, now switch it out. Bring your left hand in front of your eyes and right hand goes up. And then bring both the hands down. Take the deepest stretch here if you want. And then we start to come back up by teeing out our arms first. Send your body up. Get your hands above your head. And then shorten your stance. And now we will turn towards our left side. So you can see the distance between my feet is not a lot. It's just maybe 6 inches, a little bit more than that. And that's what we want. Our toes are on separate railroad tracks. And if we had a mirror in front, we wouldn't be able to see our heels behind our toe. So try and get that. Now bend your left knee and then send your fingers towards your left toe. And when you're there, you can rest your hand on the mat and then bring your forehead to try and touch your knee. And then breathe. Remember, this was a difficult pose for breathing, so you will have to intentionally make it happen. Okay, then from here we'll go to halfway lift, but make sure your hands are nicely rested on the mat first, and then lift your right leg up to bring it at the same height as your hips. And when you're done, allow your right toe to fall down to get to a lunge, and we'll send the left leg out for a three-legged dog, and then end in a downward facing dog. And take a breath here. You can make your be deeper by sending your head closer to your toes. You can fan out your hands, fingers in your hands to give you the support. But take one full breath here. And then just bend your knees and walk forward to a malasana where you will keep your feet to the edge of your mat and you're just going to sit down. So if you cannot sit down on this pose, then actually everybody is able to sit down. But otherwise you can use blocks or chair or pillows to sit on that. That's totally fine as well. You can use your elbows to open your knees more and then just stay here. This is an excellent hip opener and it's totally fine to fall down because we just have a mat. It's not a big deal. Perfect. Yes, cramps might happen in this pose. If they're happening, you can lift yourselves up and then again sit down. This is a good one where cramps might show up. Okay, and then come back to the downward facing dog. And let's go get some pigeon right away. So lift your right leg up in the sky and then end in a pigeon on your right side. So make your shin parallel to the shorter edge of the mat. And then allow your left knee to touch the ground, curl your toes out, and keep going until you cannot go any further. Make sure both your hips are equidistant from the ground, and then come down on your elbows. If you have any problems doing this pose, I can also show you on your back, but just wave at me if you're having any pain. Okay, I feel everybody's good. So then if you want, you can rest your head on your hands. Okay, let's bring some weight back to our hands. And then with care, slowly walk your knees and feet, left knee forward And then come back to the downward facing dog. Let's take a counter stretch here by sending our right leg up to the sky, bending at the knee and opening the knee out. And then end in the downward facing dog. Now let's do it on the other side. So left leg up in the sky. And then end in a pigeon on your left. So your shin becomes parallel to the shorter edge of the mat, and allow your right leg to stretch out, keep going back until you cannot go any further. When both the hips are equidistant from the mat, then come down on your elbows and then lower down and rest your head on your hands. Okay, start to come back up, bring some weight back in your hands. And then with care, come back to downward facing dog. And take a counter stretch here. Left leg up to the sky, bend at the knee, open the knee out. And then end in a downward facing dog. And then from here, we will just go down to a plank and then lower ourselves down to a cobra. I'm going to bring my computer closer so you can stay in cobra, and I will just bring my computer closer because I'm not able to see from that far. Okay, so let's stay there in cobra. Uncurl your toes out. And let's take a little bit of cobra. So have your hands rested by your shoulders. Lift your shoulders and your head up. Keep looking down towards the mat. And then allow your head to fall down. Now have your hands by your side and bring your chin to rest on the mat. We will do some locust poses or half locust poses to prep for Superman. So have your hands by your side. If you want, you can actually bring them underneath you, but your choice. A lot of people don't like that, so I just keep them on the side. Now with your chin touching the mat, lift your right leg up in the sky. And then allow the right leg to fall down. Now lift your left leg up to the sky. And then allow your left leg to fall on the mat. Okay, bring your legs closer so that they touch each other. Your chin is still touching the ground if you can. I know we have to see the camera, but it's okay. And then now we are just going to lift both the legs up to the sky together. Keep lifting them, but if you start feeling the crunch in your lower back, then just stop right before that. The work is actually happening from our hips and then thighs, not from the lower back. And then rest. Okay, now let's turn our head on one side. Maybe your left cheek is touching the ground and you're just relaxing your entire body. Your hands are nicely rested, your legs are nicely rested, toes in, heels out, and you're just taking a breath. But while you're doing that, your neck is being stretched a little bit. So that's a good thing. Allow that to happen. Okay, let's bring our chins back to the center. And now we're just going to do Superman. So tee out your arms. You can tee out, you can goal pose, whatever is comfortable. Your legs are still touching each other. And in the next inhale, you will lift your legs and hands up to the sky at the same time. So exhale out first, exhale, and then inhale. Lift up your shoulders, your hands, and your legs together at the same time. And come to a Superman. This is an inhale. Okay, so you cannot go any further, come down and just exhale. Have your hands by your side. Now turn your head on the other side. This time your right cheek touches the ground. And just relax. Okay, let's come back to the center again. Chin back to the center. And now we're just going to do floor bow. So if you're lying down, just hold on to your ankles by bending your legs at the knee. And make sure your knees are touching each other. Exhale all the air out. And then inhale as you lift your shoulders up. Send. You can do that by kicking your feet back. And relax. And then again, whichever side you're feeling more stretch, you can turn your head there. Okay, next, let's come to a tabletop, and then we're going to sit down on our heels. So the first one is, this one is a little tricky. A lot of people don't like it, but do it if you enjoy it. So we try to get our knees together and heels out, and I'm just trying to sit down in between. So if you think you cannot do that, use anything you have, pillow or something, and just sit down on that. But the entire idea here is that your knees are together, your heels are out, and your seat is going in between your heels down towards the mat. And if you think you can do that, then raise your arms up to the sky and see if you can get some tricep stretches. The tricep stretches is just going to make you sit up straight. Nothing fancy about it, it's just helping you sit up straight. And then just relax. And let's take some counter stretches. So for counter stretches, we just bend one knee at a time. Or you can just pitter patter your feet. Anything is fine. Just want blood back in your knee. And then when you're ready, sit down on your heels. Back is straight. Arms up to the sky. Tortoise pose is what we are going for. Inhale, stay there. Exhale, with back straight. Send your hand and your face towards the mat. And then keep going until your hands cannot go any further. So this is an active pose for your elbows. Just allow them to stay lifted. But you're trying to force your forehead to go touch the ground. And at the same time, if you can keep bringing your hips closer to your heels, then that's going to stretch out your entire spine. Called the half tortoise pose. Okay, then with a hinge in your hip, bring your torso up and then allow your hands to fall down. Let's do one more seated pose. So come to your knees, and then we're just going to do a camel pose. If you guys know it, you can start going in it. But have your knees hip distance apart, and then just stand on your knees. So have your hands behind in your lower back pockets, and then slowly start to exhale, send air out, and start to send your gaze back. But as you do that, make sure your hips are still above your knee. And then you can keep going back. Yes, awesome. One more breath. And then come back up. Your hands will support your lower back. And then sit down on the mat. The last one, just a counter pose for this. Have your hands on your heels. So now this one is your thumbs are outside towards me. So keep there and then start to tuck your chin in, start to round your back and keep going down until your head is touching your knee. But don't rest your head on the mat. Just allow it to touch the knee. And if you're flexible, you can even raise your hips. And then come back up. Let it go. Let's do some stretches on our legs. So extend your right leg out and bend your left knee. So option here, you can take a hamstring stretch, or the one which I like a lot is actually helping your hips to open more. So bend your knee a little bit and then send your arms towards your right toe. Now when you do that, if you can, if you're feeling the stretch already, that's fine. It's a stretch, it's a compression in your hamstrings. But I want to make sure that your left hip is touching the ground. So if that's not happening, intentionally force that. And then when you do that, and if you are very flexible, bring your head closer to your knee and see if you can make that connection. If that connection is still happening, then you can start to lower your knee down and see how much you can go. But make sure your left hip is not leaving the ground. As you do that, you will feel the stretch in your left side, especially the upper part of your hip is where you feel the stretch. Okay, let's let it go and switch out your legs. The left leg opens, right leg is bent, and same point modification, a little bit of bend in your left knee. Get your arms up to the sky, send them to the left toe. Make sure your right hip is touching the ground, so intentionally make that happen. And once you do that, both your shoulders should be in the same plane, and then bring your forehead to touch the left knee. And if you think that is happening, then allow your left knee to unbend. Keep going down, but make sure your forehead is still touching the knee. At some point, you will start to feel the stretch right above your hip, or right above your IT band actually. And that's what this pose is helping. And then let it go. And then just extend your legs out and let's take a traditional hamstring stretch. So arms up to the sky and then send your arms to your toe, hinge at your hip to get a hamstring stretch. If you cannot reach your toes, that's fine. Just intentionally try and reach your toes. And then one last traditional stretch, butterfly. So have your toes, palms touching, feet touching each other, and have your knees rested, back straight, and you're in your pose. You can hinge from your hip and keep going down until you feel the stretch in the outside of your hips. Okay, then when you're ready, lie down on the mat. And then we'll just do the lying poses. So I'll bring it closer to my head. So lie down on your mat. See how we're doing on time. Yes, perfect. And then bring one knee to your heart, the right knee to your heart. And move it outside towards your right armpit. As you do that, you will feel that you have to exhale all the air out. Just do that. Allow all the stale air to go out. Half wind removing pose. And then as we exhale, we take a spine twist. So send your right knee towards the left side, but allow your right shoulder to still keep touching the ground. This is a twist in your backbone. So the more you force your right shoulder to touch the ground and look towards me, the twist will happen. And then breathe. Okay, we can bring it back. Then for a moment, bring both your knees together. Give them a hug. And now extend out your right leg. And give a hug to your left knee. Now bring it next to your armpit. And then exhale all the air out here. And in the same flow, get a supine twist on your other side. So your left knee goes to the right side and your left shoulder is still touching the ground. And if you want, you can look towards the left side. Okay, we can bring both the knees back and then give them a hug again. And then as you exhale, Get a happy baby, sorry, a happy baby. Send your feet up to the sky, stamp your feet up to the sky. You can hold on to your ankle, you can hold on to your foot, anything which is accessible. And then maybe move from right to left, massaging out your lower back. Okay. And then we can take any pose here. If you are flexible, you can go ahead and take a plow pose. And if you don't want to do any poses, you can just relax here and get ready for corpse pose. But for plow pose, we're just going to send our hips up to the sky. I don't think I'm visible there, but this is what I'm intending to. And I'm using my sofa for support here. Yes. And then if you're ready, send your legs back up and then lower down. And then just give them a hug, give your knees a hug, and then relax. I guess this is perfect time. Let's actually settle down in a corpse pose. I have 6 minutes left. I don't think there's time for a full-on sequence. So let's start to just settle down on the mat and get 2 minutes of calm time for us, quiet time for us. So relax on the mat, hands by your side. This time your toes out, heels in, and then you can close your eyes. Try and adjust yourself so that your lower back is actually as much as in contact with the ground as possible. And relax your shoulder. And now just breathe normally. And I will guide you to start relaxing every part of your body. Start with your eyes, relax them. Your jaws, maybe they're clenched, relax them. Your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your hips, your fingers, your knees, your ankles, and your toes. Breathe normally and just stay here. 2 minutes is what we are going to focus on. We can start to wiggle our fingers, wiggle our toes, bring some motion back to our body. If you want, you can sway your toes from right to left. And then just take a good morning stretch if you want. And then bend your knees and sway them again, right? And then left. And now turn your body and just come to a fetal pose on your right or left, whatever is comfortable to you. And then whenever you're ready, bring yourselves up to a seated pose, cross-legged. And let's take a breath together as we started. So you can have your hands rested on your knee, back straight again. Close your eyes and let's take inhale and exhale. And you can open your eyes. Thanks, everyone. This was awesome.